Welcome to Minghui Radio's Falun Gong News, direct from China and around the world. Topics include news about the persecution of Falun Gong in China, local events, and special items of interest. Now for this week's stories.
USA. Pennsylvania Falun Dafa practitioners urged lawmakers to focus on the CCP's persecution and its transnational repression of Falun Dafa in the U.S. The activities were held in Philadelphia on October 29th and included visits to legislators' offices and a press conference. Republican State Senator Doug Mastriano and Democratic State Senator Sharif Street gave speeches expressing support. Senator Mastriano sent a memo to all the members of the Senate the day before the event and said he would introduce a resolution to condemn the CCP's persecution. During the press conference, he stated that the persecution is facilitated by international silence driven by economic interest and added that silence in the face of evil is complicity. Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting Representative Jessica Russo spoke at the press conference and characterized the practice of forced organ harvesting as primarily a crime of genocide driven by the CCP's desire to eliminate any group that does not follow party lines.
Indonesia. Practitioners were invited to introduce Falun Dafa to the staff at the North Kuta Sub-District Office in Badung Regency, Bali, on October 24th. This was part of the Jumat Krida program, a morning exercise held every Friday for government employees. During the practitioners' session, dozens of sub-district staff members learned how to do the Falun Dafa exercises. After the 3-hour-long activity, many participants said that doing the exercises refreshed their focus and replenished their energy. The head of the North Kuta sub-district warmly welcomed the practitioners and said that she hopes the group practice activities at the office continue in the future.
USA. Representative Chris Smith, co-chair of the Congressional Executive Commission on China, criticized Cisco Systems for their involvement in the suppression of Falun Gong by the CCP. The statements were posted on his congressional webpage on October 30th. Chair of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, John Molinaire, joined Representative Smith in spearheading this call for action. These two lawmakers are known for exposing human rights abuses in China. In a letter to the U.S. Solicitor General D. John Sauer on October 29th, they urged him to allow the case against Cisco Systems to proceed to determine whether the U.S. tech firm Giant Custom designed a tool to aid the CCP in its systematic persecution of Falun Gong practitioners. The lawmakers emphasized that American companies must not be complicit in furthering the CCP's human rights abuses.
Japan. The largest street performing arts festival in Asia, the 32nd Daidogi World Cup, was held in the city of Shizuoka from October 31st to November 3rd. Street performers from around the world flocked to Japan to participate in the popular event. Falun Dafa practitioners distributed information about their spiritual practice and the persecution to residents and tourists. As music, acrobats, and laughter filled the streets, Falun Dafa practitioners told people about the benefits of practicing Falun Dafa and how the CCP persecutes practitioners. Event attendees encouraged practitioners to continue exposing the persecution.
Netherlands. Practitioners held informational events in the cities of Ede, Aas, and Utrecht on September 20th to the 26th to share Falun Dafa with the public. They set up displays and demonstrated the Falun Dafa exercises. Many people expressed support for ending the CCP's persecution. On October 26th, Falun Dafa practitioners set up an information booth near Utrecht Central Station to introduce the practice and expose the persecution of practitioners in China. They collected signatures on a petition that calls for the G7+7 nations to take action to stop the CCP's forced organ harvesting operations.
Croatia. The 2025 Croatia Falun Dafa Experience Sharing Conference was held in the capital city of Zagreb on October 19th. The attendees came from Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Slovenia. 14 practitioners spoke about their improvements as they practiced Falun Dafa. A practitioner named Nevin said that he was very critical of other practitioners. He realized, "Master told us the importance of looking within. When I focus on others, I can't see my own shortcomings and mistakes. In fact, other practitioners serve as our mirrors so we can examine ourselves." Other practitioners also reported on how they applied Falun Dafa's principles of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, looked within, let go of human notions, returned to traditional values, and overcame difficulties to help save people.
New Zealand. At the 2025 New Zealand Falun Dafa Experience Sharing Conference in the city of Auckland, held on November 2nd, 15 practitioners described how they followed the principles of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance to improve themselves. As they continued to practice, they reported experiencing increasing gratitude for their teacher, Master Lee. The day before the Experience Sharing Conference, practitioners held an event at Lumsden Green in Newmarket, the commercial center of Auckland. They told local people about the egregious human rights violations the CCP has perpetrated against practitioners of Falun Dafa for 26 years. Many passers-by stopped to watch as practitioners demonstrated the exercises. They read the brochures and talked with practitioners who explained the facts about the persecution, and many expressed their respect and support for practitioners.
France. Falun Gong practitioners held activities in 2 locations in Paris to raise awareness of the ongoing persecution in China on October 2nd and October 28th. They demonstrated the exercises and also informed the public about the CCP's state-sanctioned forced organ harvesting of prisoners of conscience. Stunned and indignant over the atrocities, many people signed a petition calling for an end to the persecution. Tour agent Deerit said, "Harvesting organs from a person is inhumane, dehumanizing. It's an act of evil." Indra Feldman is a tour guide. She said that people need values such as truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, especially compassion, just as fertile soil is needed to nurture beautiful trees. A woman named Sabrina said she believes that forced organ harvesting is inconceivable. She hoped the petition will help Chinese Falun Gong practitioners out of their predicament.
Japan. 2 community celebrations provided opportunities on November 1st and 2nd for practitioners to introduce Falun Dafa and raise awareness of the brutal persecution in China. The Kawasaki Citizens Festival is a 3-day event that attracted nearly 500,000 visitors. Practitioners displayed banners and posters near the event venue and distributed informational materials at major intersections on November 1st and 2nd. Residents encouraged practitioners to persevere. Practitioners also took part in the 52nd Hiroshima City Kobe Community Center Festival on November 2nd. They introduced Falun Dafa on stage and demonstrated the 5 sets of exercises. Almost all the audience members followed along, creating a peaceful atmosphere. Many people asked about local practice sites. After talking to practitioners and learning about Falun Dafa, Ms. Yasuda, the instructor of the Kimono Beauty Group, said she agreed with the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, and wanted to learn the exercises. She offered to help practitioners put kimonos on correctly, free of charge, when they participated in parades, and said, "I will do my best to help you whenever you need me."
The following are selected cases of persecution of Falun Gong practitioners in China. A 60-year-old man in Kunming City is facing trial for his faith in Falun Gong. Mr. Han Jin-kun was summoned to the local police station in May and arrested on arrival. The police suspected him of placing a flash drive containing Falun Gong information in a car months earlier after receiving a tip-off from the car owner. They also discovered Falun Gong materials on Mr. Han's person after he reported to the police station. During a meeting with his lawyer, Mr. Han reiterated that he broke no law in exercising his constitutional right to freedom of belief. This is not the first time that Mr. Han, a hotel worker and former professional tennis player, was targeted for his faith. He previously served 3 prison terms totaling 15 years. Mr. Han Jin-kun married a Falun Gong practitioner named Miss Guo Zhuan, who was also repeatedly persecuted for her faith. The authorities later forced the couple to divorce.
A mother and son in Lingai City were indicted because they practiced Falun Gong. Ms. Lu Suping and her son Mr. Zhang Nan were arrested at their home in June this year. When Mr. Zhang opened the door to their home, 3 plainclothes officers rushed in and pushed them to the ground. They handcuffed him and yelled freeze to his mother and their 2 guests, who also practiced Falun Gong, Ms. Wang Yunji, 67, and Ms. Nu Fong, 53. While one officer kept watch on the 3 women, another officer began searching the home. More than 10 agents soon arrived and joined the raid. They wore body cams to record everything. The police confiscated many valuables before they took the 4 practitioners to a detention center for interrogation. Prior to their latest persecution, the mother and son were previously sentenced to 3.5 and 3 years, respectively.
Authorities in Xinjiang Autonomous Region have been targeting residents and visitors alike for their faith in Falun Gong ever since the Chinese Communist Party began the persecution. These are only a few cases. Mr. Jin Zuoyuan of Fukou City died at 84 years old on April 29, 2024, 6 months after his home was raided. Mr. Zhang Di, a native of Hebei Province, was arrested last year while doing odd jobs in Xinjiang. The Xinjiang police went to his hometown to raid his childhood home and confiscated a Falun Gong book. Ms. Xiaoyan, 60, of Urumqi was arrested after being reported for talking to a taxi driver about Falun Gong. Mr. Chen Jiaqing, 68, of Sichuan Province, was arrested while staying at a hotel in Urumqi City after the police found Falun Gong information on his phone when they were randomly questioning visitors. Mr. Zhang Hua of Anhui Province was arrested while exiting a train station and detained for 7 days. Ms. Zhu Shouhua of Henan Province was arrested by her local police and officers from the local security office.
The Archbishop of York condemns forced organ harvesting. The office of the Archbishop of York, Stephen Cottrell, sent a letter to the UK Falun Dafa Association on October 29. The letter, written by Elaine Harris on behalf of the Archbishop, said, "The Church of England, through its work with the Kluwer Initiative, has been clear that forced organ harvesting, wherever it takes place, is a form of modern slavery that is both illegal and immoral." The bishops in the House of the Lords have been vocal in pressing for tighter legislation to combat modern-day slavery in all its forms, both at home and abroad, and in ensuring that the integrity of what it means to be human is fully respected. It is important that UK-based companies and individuals don't profit from such an evil practice. Where they do, they must be held accountable for their actions. Please be assured that I will pass your letter on to the relevant bishops in the House of Lords so that they can follow up in Parliament and with government. Once again, I'm very grateful to you for bringing this matter to the Archbishop's attention. The Kluwer Initiative is a project of the Church of England whose goal is to raise awareness of modern slavery in all its forms, including forced labor, human trafficking, and forced organ harvesting, and to identify and assist its victims by motivating community support. The project receives support from the UK government.
Documentary State Organs stuns viewers in Pennsylvania, USA. The documentary film State Organs: Unmasking Transplant Abuse in China was screened at the Chester County Library in the community of Exton on November 1st. The film exposes the CCP's forced organ harvesting crimes against unlawfully imprisoned Falun Gong practitioners. It tracks the heart-wrenching journey of two families over more than 20 years as they searched for their loved ones who went missing under mysterious circumstances in China in the early 2000s. During their search, the families uncovered the horror of state-run organ harvesting operation that targets Falun Gong practitioners. The documentary also highlights the shocking disparity in organ transplant wait times between China and the free world. While ethical systems like those in the United States often require years of waiting, China's state-run hospitals advertise organ transplants within days or weeks, implying that human organs are being sourced on demand, an impossibility without a living pool of victims. Among the attendees was Township Supervisor of East Goshen in Chester County, Michelle Trout. She said, "The film almost leaves me speechless. I can't believe the atrocity that is being committed against Falun Gong. It's a political and spiritual religious atrocity, much like the Holocaust." Trout shared that her mother received a kidney transplant recently, so seeing the documentary especially touched her. She said her mother's brief 3-month wait for the kidney was considered highly unusual, as they have been previously told that they could be facing a wait time of anywhere from 3 to 5 years. In contrast, she learned from the documentary that in China, vital organs can be matched and transplanted within days. She pledged to contact both her state and federal legislators and said, "I will make sure to tell at least 10 people about this." Other viewers expressed similar dismay and determination to take action. Local company owner Daryl Brown said the documentary was chilling and heartbreaking, adding that he plans to educate himself further and reach out to his elected officials. He said, "I'm going to contact my local state senator and also U.S. Senator John Fetterman. We need to get this into law just to put an end to this." Brown added, "I'm a member of a local church, and I hope to bring a speaker there to get attention to this." Event attendee Lisa Rogers said, "I just didn't realize it was at this scale. It's horrifying to think that it's almost accepted, that everyone there knows about it. We have to be aware of it and then push back and make legislation so they can't spread propaganda here. I think it's very important to have screenings like this in local communities. It starts to get people aware of what's happening, even though it's far away." Rogers continued, she said she would definitely sign the petition online and talk to her family and friends about it. "I feel anger and distress," she said, "but that's the first step of being able to do something about these important issues." Many attendees said State Organs was more than a documentary, it was a moral reckoning.
Falun Dafa inspires audiences of all ages at Dominican Republic Book Fair. The Falun Dafa Association of the Dominican Republic participated in the 27th Santo Domingo International Book Fair 2025 from September 25th to October 5th at the Plaza de la Cultura. Over 700,000 people visited the fair, which was dedicated to Dominican historian Frank Moya Pons. Practitioners told visitors about Falun Dafa and highlighted its principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, and also introduced them to Zhuan Falun, the main text of the practice. They also distributed informational materials, answered questions, and explained the physical and spiritual benefits of the practice. Many people asked about the persecution of practitioners in China. Booth visitor Lucia commented, "The bright blue of Zhuan Falun caught my eye. It felt like the book I had been searching for. I felt a special connection when I touched it." Book sales representative Rafael Rodriguez said that he was captivated by the vivid color and the energy he felt when he held a copy of Zhuan Falun. After speaking to a practitioner, he said he hoped the book would be available at local bookstores. A little girl named Daisy exclaimed, "It's so pretty. This book shines with light." She let go of her mother's hand, came over to the table, and pointed excitedly at the cover. Many young visitors were curious about the content of Zhuan Falun and expressed great interest in the moral values outlined in the book and how they could improve people's lives. Practitioners organized several activities to share Falun Dafa in different settings during the fair. This year, they hosted a special presentation titled Falun Dafa in Daily Life, Cultivation of Mind and Body, which was held at the Amelia Francasi Auditorium of the Museum of Modern Art. They demonstrated the Falun Dafa exercises, spoke of the physical and mental benefits of the practice, and gave examples of how truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance can be applied in everyday life. The session was warmly received by attendees who expressed an interest in making these values part of their lives. The event concluded with an introduction to the book Zhuan Falun as the main study guide for those who wanted to deepen their understanding of the practice. Several young people joined in a short demonstration of the exercises, and many people said the atmosphere was uplifting and harmonious. As part of the fair's cultural program, practitioners also presented the short film The Lotus Flower Story by Ludmila Oriol at the Dominican Cinematheque. This activity was specially designed for children, following a request from the fair's organizers to include Falun Dafa content for younger audiences. Through the story, the core values were shared in an engaging way. The event concluded with the distribution of handmade paper lotus flower keepsakes and informational materials about Falun Dafa.
Thank you for listening to the Minghui Radio Podcast. For more information, including news about the persecution of Falun Gong practitioners in China and experience sharing stories by practitioners around the world, please visit our website at en.minghui.org.